Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, good morning, or whenever you're listening to this or watching this program. Either it's on YouTube, Spotify. I guess we're on Audacity now. I mean, we're pretty much all over the place these days. So I am your host of PW Talks, Daniel Burke, and I am, as always, joined by my wonderful co-host and my best friend for over 20 years, Mac. Again, thanks for coming onto the program.
Hello.
Hello. And I have some good news for you, buddy. We do not have to talk about anything related to the WWF, the WWE fallout of WrestleMania 41, where last week we were kind of a post-mortem episode for the funeral that was. We actually now get to talk about other things.
Can we just say one thing about it real quick, though?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hold on.
It stinks.
There we go.
Thank you, Jay Sherman, for joining the program on that. Tonight, I am very excited because we are actually joined by a local promoter, and I mean local because, of course, as many of you all know and can tell from the green monster in the background, that I am a proud Bostonian. And so is Mac, of course. He currently resides in Connecticut, and I am also residing in central Massachusetts. But there is a local wrestling promotion, a new independent promotion that has really been gaining steam that I have been definitely kind of checking out, even before I decided I was going to have this woman on our program, just because of the fact that I was just like, this little company that could is starting to make its really noise out in Connecticut. And of course, I am talking about Outkast Wrestling Revolution. And it is run by a female promoter by the name of Cyndi Hart. And she is joined by her brand new fiance and performer of the company, Louis. Guys, congratulations again, and thank you for joining us this week here on the program so we don't have to talk about anything WWE related.
Thank you. I mean, we could. I have opinions sometimes.
Oh, definitely we could talk about it. Considering the fact that when we were recording this, some current news has been leaking of current cuts that are happening right now in the company. So,
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yes, including Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, and the real surprise for me is Cora Jade, just because of how young she is and the way also that she has kind of had a interesting influence on social media from certain ilk, I guess you could say. There are the simps out there that she seems to be high with. So it's more or less one of those things of that community right now is a little bit taken aback by that. But at the same time, it's like with her injury history, I don't know if in progression, I think that they were like, we have so much in the pipeline already. But who knows if you guys will be in the opportunity to use her at some point if her price isn't so high.
Yeah, that's a key right there. Hey?
That is a key. Being a promoter now in the independent wrestling scene, how difficult is it now compared? Like, are you considered a newbie at this because it's within the last 2 or 3 years that you've been doing this?
Yeah, so in June 14th marks 1 year that we've been in business together.
Okay.
And with this company. So it was a struggle at first. We've had a great support system and have had help from an amazing man known as Brutal Bob Evans. And
yes, I've heard of Bob, yes.
Yeah, everybody has heard of Bob, and he is universally loved, except by Amanda Kiss. I don't know what that's about. But we love Bob. He's guided us and helped us. So to bring us, help us get bigger crowds. For anybody looking to take his promoter class, I recommend it 100%. But he has definitely made things a lot easier on us. He's shown me some outlets to use that I wouldn't have normally thought of myself to get our our business out there. For that, I appreciate that man more than words can even say. So I just want to start off by saying that.
What made you want to jump into this? I mean, because it is one of those things you're sitting there, you're like, did you sit there at like 12 years old one day and just think, if I want to be a wrestling promoter when I grow up? And I'm not knocking that. I'm more or less, it's just because it is one of those things of you're like, every top wrestling promoter or booker has always told everybody at one point or another, do not do this. Do not get involved with this. Just they give you all the stop signs of like, no, don't stop. Don't do this.
That's just because it's a lot of work, though. And if you're not willing to do the work, you're not really going to get anywhere. Where we are very hungry and we are just, more than willing to do the work. We go out there and we do it. And to answer your question, no. When I was little, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. First a marine biologist, then a professional wrestler. But I can't do that. So here we are promoting. We both had dreams to run this company, to get it off the ground and to book some amazing stories and something that will captivate the audience and bring them back. That's pretty much our goal. We love the fans. We want to show our appreciation for them and we want to give back. And this is the way to do it for us.
How long do you think, like, did you set up like a 5-year plan of like what you kind of want to do over the next 5 years to kind of get this thing going? Or is it more or less just kind of like, because a part of it is, and it's the lay of the land, unfortunately, but also I think you're very smart, because I've noticed with a lot of the cards that you run, you don't run a lot of, there's a term out there of blowing your nuts. And a lot of promoters tend to do that, where it's just like, well, I'm going to stack the card. It's like, okay, yeah, you can keep getting all these guys in there for $5,000, but how's your walk up going to be? Like, yeah, your pre-sales might be doing pretty good, but how's the walk up going to be? And how's the take going to be at the concession? How's the take going to be with merchandising and things like that? So then they blow their nut on one show, and they don't run another show again because they went bust. So it has to be, I think, enticing at some points, because you're just like, I could get this person, but it's like, I really shouldn't.
Yeah. So our strategy, obviously we look around everywhere for talents, and we're not just putting any old talents on our card. We're putting good talents on our card, right. Respectable talents. And they might not be WWE names, but we do have guys from AEW, MLW. We have Richard Holiday coming on this next one. We have Mickey Midas, Danny O'Ryan, Kylon King. Those are all like local big names. You know what I mean? We don't really have like a 5-year plan per se. We just plan for the next show. And so our short-term goals are, hey, let's double this crowd every time. And so far we've been accomplishing that. And also, just like I said earlier, telling a good story. So we have several storylines going that are pretty amazing that the fans are loving. I went and talked to all the fans at intermission last time. I shook a lot of hands of people I didn't know, and I said, hey, how do you like the show? They were like, it's fantastic. I said, really? Are you enjoying yourselves? Will you come back? And they said, we'll never miss another one. And to get feedback like that meant everything to me, because that's exactly what I'm looking for and exactly what I want to hear from people.
And we're trying to build our local talent too. Like we also run a school, so we're trying to build our own talent up as well, and local talent.
Yep.
Are you the head trainer?
I am.
He's the trainer. I'm the bookkeeper, for the record.
That works.
Yeah.
What's your current class size?
Probably about 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're just starting. So
is it a lot of them on the younger side now? Like you're it's like probably a lot of kids out of high school, or maybe closer to, or do you have more on the varying ages type situation? Because it seems like in the last 5 years or so that if you're 12 or 13 years old now, with everything that's been going on, the way that the Roman Reigns storyline and the popularity of the industry with AEW, I feel like that the younger generation, that the 12 to 13-year-olds, that might be a goal for them, especially with that program that WWE's running, where they're kind of out scouting at colleges as well. Are you kind of waiting for people to come to you on that, or is it just one of those situations where maybe you might see somebody that has some potential and being like, yeah, you might need a little refining?
You can answer this one. It's your time to shine.
So yeah, I mean, we've got some younger guys. Our first student though that debuted, he's in his 30s. He's actually an Army vet. That has just always dreamed of it. He's an old friend of mine, and when we opened up the school, it gave him an opportunity to come in and learn. But the rest of the guys, yeah, they're like 19 to I was 23.
Okay, that makes sense. How easy is it for them to kind of like? Is it easy for them to? Are they willing to learn now? Or is it kind of, because how long have you been in the business, at least as a trained performer?
So I've been in the business for 24 years.
Okay.
I'm originally a West Coast guy. I came from the big indie boom. I was signed to XPW a while back. I was actually shady in XPW.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
It's funny you mentioned XPW because I still have a stack of the DVDs original.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting there.
A lot. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, people don't realize that that's me because I had hair back then and I was a lot smaller.
I get people both sides of the fence with that company. It's either you loved it or you hated it. And I'm on the side of that. I loved it just because a lot of the stuff they did was memorable and just completely out there. But I understand too where I get criticized because I tend to be someone that leans on the old school sense of things. But I didn't hate XPW.
Yeah.
It was one of those companies that was just like, I'm kind of fond of this. Do you have any good Rob Black stories that you can tell that won't get us in trouble?
Maybe. Every time I came around, he was. Are we allowed to curse on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But every time I would come around, because they made me do this whole Eminem gimmick, they had me bleach my hair and everything. And every time I'd come around, he'd be like, "Fucking shady," and like that's all he would say to me.
That's actually a very good impression.
Thanks.
He's also an actor, so
It's a spot on impression. Like when I think of Rob Black, I just think of just his voice and just doing that.
Oh yeah, he was
shady. Oh my god,
it was wild too because they did the other company as well, and when we did our video vignettes and everything, we had to wait for them to get done filming that so we could use the same cameraman to film our vignettes.
Oh boy. Oh god. just the thought of just having that. All right, so we're gonna do this, and now you're gonna do this deathmatch tournament. What? In one day? Like you're seeing literally the Sodom and Gomorrah, and then on the other side you're just seeing, oh my God, Supreme is on fire. Like this man is on fire.
sounds all right. Yeah.
New Jack just killed that guy. He just threw him from a 45-foot balcony.
I was on that show.
Oh my God. Oh my God, you were. I remember. That so did you watch that from the curtain, just being like, I have to see this?
Oh yeah, we were out. Oh man, it was nuts.
Oh my God. Like, because that was one of the DVDs I was just like, I have to buy this. I have to buy this.
They did a whole Dark Side of the Ring about it. So
I remember watching that, and well, they did the New Jack episode like just on its own, and then they did the XPW episode. And I was just like, this is the best of both worlds. That Messiah story, by the way, was because I thought he had a ton of potential actually to go to another Fed if he wanted to.
Oh yeah, and
Like,
he was such a good dude too. Messiah was such a nice guy.
Yeah, I really thought, I'm like, this guy really could go to either one of the other big Feds and probably make a name for himself. But I can understand how that would lead you to being like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, just again, allegedly.
Yeah.
So you come from that side of things where it's just absolute chaos, and then somehow you make it all the way to New England. So that's an interesting 25-year arc there.
Yeah. Well, I joined the Navy. I ended up joining the military, and that's what brought me out here to New England.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So that was right after XPW, where you were just like, I need to do something to cleanse this.
Yeah. Well, it was around Wrestling Society X. And actually, I was told that I had a spot there on Wrestling Society X, but I had already said the pledges and everything and gave myself to the United States Navy.
Well, they had to, I mean, sorry you missed the electric eel match. I mean,
I'm not.
It was funny because Conan actually told me not to go in. He's like, don't go. He's like, don't go in the Navy.
but it's like, did you watch that? Were you able to watch that at all? Like,
Some of it.
Like so you were abroad and probably like, I'm glad I didn't fucking go. You're like, this is a much better situation than that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. The military's a whole different beast.
Well, yeah. I my brother was in it for like 22 years, so it is a completely different beast. But I don't know. I see looking at Wrestling Society X, and then I just think of a career in the military, and I'm just like, Like it's like, because you're looking at it, like, and I remember when it first came out, I first popped for it, and then like after like a week or two, I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this exactly?
The only thing I regret, a lot of my friends were in it, Tornado, and I think Scorpio Sky was there, and guys like that.
Oh, Scorpio Sky. Then I just remembered SCU that just came across my head. You bring up California, then the SCU theme just somehow just entered my head. You bring up Scorpio Sky.
My brain does things like that all the time, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It's the I don't think any other real fandom has that, where it's like all of a sudden you just hear a terminology and you're just like, wait a second.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like somebody says the bottom line, you immediately just think, I should hit him with the stunner. Like,
Pretty much,
or you get a Cold Stone Creamery, and then you just come out with something, and then you're just like, wait, what? Like,
we're getting ice cream. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I want 2 scoops. What? Give me sprinkles. What? Give me syrup.
I'm doing that.
What?
And we're gonna do that and then get back to you on the Iraq.
We may not be allowed in Cold Stone after that, but
I'm surprised he's allowed to walk around this town at all. For Halloween, we went as Harley Quinn and the Joker. I was the Joker.
Boy.
He was Harley Quinn. this man walks better in heels than I do. This guy walked up to him and was like, I was going to say, you got big balls to be walking around like this. And he looks at him and goes, but after looking at you, I'm not so sure. He's in a miniskirt.
He's in heels and he could just walk around. Well, I was in the Navy once. I mean,
and XPW. So
yes, exactly. It's one and the same.
I just, oh my goodness.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You should hear his Harley Quinn voice too, because we were doing the voices at the kids to make them laugh and stuff, and he's so dead on. You got to do it.
Oh.
You got to do it.
Hi, Mr. J.
Dead.
Oh shit.
Dead.
That's better than Margot Robbie. Like,
Oh no. I've got friends that have hit me up and they say, "Thank you, you've ruined Harley Quinn for me forever."
like, what you should just do is just send like Christmas cards, and it's just the visual of her, and then it's just your voice.
That's a great idea, actually.
Everybody's just like, ah. Your whole friend base, you just killed it for them. You're just like, oh no.
Maybe we'll work something out for the save the dates for the wedding.
Exactly. Actually, those are pretty good engagement photos. Actually, you know?
Right.
On the front, it's going to be normal just to throw them off, and then they flip it over, and that's when it hits them.
There is nothing serious about either of us, for the record.
That's a good thing. Actually, that's me, and that's kind of what I have with my fiance as well. It's just like we don't take anything seriously, which seems to be what makes the relationship work. Because when you take things seriously, too seriously, sometimes it's just that's when things, sometimes go south. And it's just like I feel like that. If you have that good balance of like, yeah, when shit goes down, you're there. And when you're down, you need to also pick that person up. And if you have that good balance, you're good. And I feel like and from what I've noticed, because Cyndi, me and you have been Facebook friends for a while, and I've noticed, and I've seen the interactions, and I've seen the love there and the appreciation. So I've just been like, okay, like they're a couple that I actually like, because it's one of those deals where you just know sometimes you look at them and you're like at someone, you're just like, yeah, I know it'll work when I see it.
Oh yeah, no, this is real for real. My parents loved him. They both passed last year, but they got to meet him before they did, and my mom really liked him and kept asking him, when are you going to marry my daughter? And put stuff out there. I'm like, Mom, shut up. And I ended up a year ago, because I knew he was going to be my person. Probably like after the first time we hung out, I was like, I am swooned with this man. And I gave him my mother's diamond after she passed. And I said, when you propose down the line, whenever that might be, use this ring because it's sentimental to me. So I'm wearing my mom's diamond as a way to keep her memory alive with me and to keep her with us at our wedding because she can't be here for it.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And so it was so funny because I actually ruined his proposal plan. My daughter got in trouble and I went through her phone.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I saw his plans to propose to me at our June show. And I was like,
oh yeah,
sitting right next to me when I saw it. He was like, no.
And I knew it. As soon as she saw it, she looked through the phone, and as soon as she saw it, I knew right away that that's what she saw. And I was like, oh.
But a thing about him is he's an actor too, and he was just a stunt coordinator on a movie called Article 92, which has actually won some film festival awards, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, they were having a red carpet premiere. And we both got all fancy in our dressy clothes, and we went there. And he gets called up on stage by Joe, who is the director, and he starts talking, and then pulls me up on stage. And right then and there, I was like, "Oh, he did not. He's not." No, and he did, and I was just so taken back because he had to like switch up all of his plans because of me.
Had to throw an audible.
Yep, had to throw an audible. And so,
what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I got it.
it worked too. I was like, I'm not going to cry in front of strangers, and I didn't. I went and waited till I got in the car, and then I cried.
This was my third engagement. My first two were complete botches.
That's
Like,
okay. They don't count.
Screwed up yeah, exactly. That's the way I look at it. It's just like, you know what? We didn't know any better. And this one, I was in Long Island where she was from, visiting her family, and it happened to be like 70 degrees on Christmas. So it was like, so we went to the beach and did it on Christmas. So it was like, it just worked out like great, of like once in a lifetime, where it was like, all right, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it now. Cause like it's on the beach, it's Christmas, it's 70 degrees out. Come on.
See, for y'all out here, that's not normal. For me growing up, that was normal.
Oh, right. Yeah. It had to have been such an interesting trip the first winter here, of just being like, oh, hey, you know, like, oh, this would be interesting. And then all of a sudden you see the first snow and you're just like, how the hell did you people through all these years, like, this exists? Why am I not in San Diego again? That first winter, I'd be like, what am I doing here?
Well, it's funny because me and my kids were not used to it. So we were out playing it and everything. The neighbors were all looking at us like we were crazy.
No.
Yeah, because they're probably like the hardened ones that have been here like half their lives. And they're just like, why?
Yeah,
same ones that need to stock up on this. Every time there's a snowstorm, they have to go out and buy bread and milk. Why? Why?
And toilet paper. Can't forget the toilet paper.
Yeah, toilet paper. Well, God, at least it's not 5 years ago, when that was the only time it was like, do I have to go out and kill someone to get toilet paper?
And yes, you did. Yeah, COVID, man. COVID.
I know what. Oh, my nose is stuffed. I got to get toilet paper for my ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why are my toilets clogged? Why do you think I can't get anything else? God. What do you want me to do? Somehow become a cat? Like, hey, there's no way I got to get this done.
We got to use the litter box from now on.
I mean, they're already putting them in grade schools anyways right now, right? I hear that's a thing now. Because I work at a school district, and somebody from facilities has told me that recently. He's just like, you know, they're actually putting in like litter boxes in schools now. I'm like, okay.
That is
weird.
All right.
That is weird.
Well, yeah, because there's now people that are identify themselves as a furry.
Yeah, which is it's still weird. I'm not gonna say I'm usually very non-judgmental and I'm very open-minded, but litter boxes don't belong in schools. I'm just gonna they belong in homes for cats, not for people.
I tend to be very moderate when it comes to a lot of things, but that's one of those things. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, no, this shouldn't be there.
You know, like South Park does episodes about that kind of stuff all the time. Like, they did one about trans people, and this guy who looks like Macho Man Randy Savage calls himself Michelle and was able to perform in the Olympics as a female competitor.
I just saw that episode recently.
It was so funny. They just go so far over the line and like they exaggerate so much on everything that they do. It's great.
They exaggerate because they never get offended. Nobody gets offended by them because they're just like, okay, like they had me. Okay, I understand what they were doing, but they also had me like eating like when they had Sarah Jessica Parker be a horse, and they just had her eating hay. Like I don't think she could have got mad at that because she's just like, it's whatever. I think they made Snooki a troll one point.
Yes,
they did.
And she was on Twitter and she's just like, I was just honored to be mentioned. Like she was just like, People just take it with a badge of honor now. I'm just like, I'm not going to get mad.
That's because if you're being made fun of in a capacity like that, you've made it.
Right.
Only one I know that got mad was Tom Cruise.
Not the one where he locked himself in the closet.
Scientologist, yeah.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, get out of the closet. Get out of the closet, Tom. No, I'm not getting out of the closet.
And then Diddy made the whole closet song with him and Tom Cruise in the closet.
I'm in the closet.
I'm in the closet. Even Russell Crowe didn't get mad. Russell Crowe was literally, his best friend was a tugboat. And he was just going around the world and beating people up.
Yep.
And he was on, they asked him about it on 60 Minutes, and he was just like, nah, I can't get mad about it.
No, they cross some lines sometimes though, and it's to me it's really funny because, like I said, everything is a joke to me, and it's just like I like to laugh about things because it's how like I cope with life. And like that episode of 2006, his super sweet 16 Halloween party, and they had Steve Irwin, and he shows up, and he has a stingray right through his heart, and he was like, "Oh, you got to go. That costume's offensive." He's like, "But it's me." And he was like, "Oh, well, you still got to go. No costume."
Yeah, I remember that when I was in college. Actually, that episode.
So
I watched
funny.
it with a bunch of friends, and now I'm realizing my age because I'm just like, wow, college was like almost 20 years ago now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's all right. This was bad. It made me feel old. I was at Joey Chaos's one time when I was still in California, and Willie Mack came up to me and he goes, "Oh man, I used to watch you when I was little."
And it's funny because I'm a little bit younger than him, but not by much. So yeah. So I feel my age too. Like these reminders, they're everywhere. How old I am. I'll have like these. I'll be watching these young kids in the ring, and I'm like doing all this high risk stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no, not in my day, not now.
What? So were you kind of like the only female fan, probably like out of your friends? Because if I'm guessing, you would probably be around the same age bracket as me and Mac. So I'm guessing maybe you got in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe.
Yeah, well, I was born in 89.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit younger, but regardless, when I was younger, I was kind of like a loner because I was a tomboy. So all the other girls thought I was weird. I've always liked wrestling and sports and not girly things. Now that I'm older, I actually do hair and nails, and then I, do this wrestling stuff. So people are like, wow, you really stuck with that. I'm like, yeah, like I was serious about it from day one, But yeah, I was kind of a loner. I didn't get along with like one group of people. I got along with like somebody from every group. And I just kind of made my rounds every day and said hi to a bunch of people and, not hi to a bunch of other people. But yeah, in my family, there's a few other females who like wrestling in my family. But I'm the only one who's this cuckoo for it, I guess. And I'm the only one running a company. And actually, being a female promoter, it's almost unheard of. The only one that I know of in Connecticut is Mama Kaiju, who we work very closely with. She's a good friend of mine, and I admire her, and I look up to her a lot, actually.
So what was your first wrestling kind of vivid memory on what made you just kind of be like, this is cool, I want to stick with this?
Macho Man Randy Savage. I just loved him.
Okay.
When I was a child, I loved that man. I loved him, Jake the Snake. People just, it was captivating to me. Like, it was like, even when I was young, I knew that to a degree, a lot of it is showmanship. and it just, it captivated me from a very young age. I was like, I want to do that when I'm older. And for a while I did. I trained for a while. And now, I have lupus and RA and chronic health problems. I cannot, I can't go at it like I used to. So being on the promoter side, for me, it's an awesome way to stay involved. It's an awesome way to have those relationships with people and, provide everybody with something that they look forward to and that they want to come back to. It's like having a party every month almost, like bi-monthly, like a little gathering of all your friends kind of, but some of them are talents we bring from the outside and, we make new friends and new connections. And to me, it's pretty awesome. And I love it so much. I love being able to tell these stories. I love being able to do it with the love of my life, which I never thought I'd be involved with somebody who was so heavily involved in the business or a performer for that matter. Cause I was really dead against like dating wrestlers ever. But this one, he's sneaky. He got me with tacos. So that's a real story.
That's it. That's a winning move. I think that seems to be for most guys. It's like, oh yeah, she'll probably like tacos. Yeah, I don't know many girls that don't like tacos, so it seems to be the winning move.
It's always the tacos.
It's always the tacos.
Tacos though, not just any tacos. Carne asada, because he is Korean. Oh yeah. So he got me with that.
And being from Southern California, you learn a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Like that seems to be the exact place I would want to go for a burger, to go to In-N-Out Burger, and then also to probably get tacos.
I miss taco shops. I miss taco shops so much. They have the burritos there about the size of your forearm.
I miss
that. Sounds like heaven. Honestly, it just
does.
Sounds
one of the way, I don't know if because you're from the area. I don't know if you guys did this before COVID, but if you remember the Mohegan Sun, they had their buffet, Seasons buffet. They would have their breakfast buffet, which would be $10. And then if you went at like 10:30, though, there would be the rollover at 11 o'clock or 11:30 for their lunch service. And just the amount of food, and honestly, it was like a 5-star restaurant quality of the food. But then, of course, because of COVID, that went away, so you couldn't get that back. So, and I'm
since COVID, I haven't gone to any buffets.
Yeah, I think no, you're right. I don't think I have either. But it's like, because I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about like the food from that, because it literally had everything you could possibly think of. And I was thinking about, oh God, I could get burritos there, and then I could get tacos there. I could make a taco salad, and then all this great stuff. And then it's just like, oh yeah, but that's gone now, because we don't have. What am I going to get for tacos around here? Taco Bell, or Moe's is actually decent. But
well, in our case, we both like to cook and get down in that kitchen. So there's a reason why he wants to marry me too. I'm just saying. I also get him with food.
No, I mean that I'm sure there are also, I'm sure, many perks other than just like the food. And then also because he maybe wants a Triple H relationship too. I'm just like, well, I got to stay on top somehow. Like
that was a good impression.
Yeah, that was really good. You're talking about him doing
it's one of those things. It's just Stephanie, I gotta be able to,
That's so good.
My fiance opened the door and she just sees me doing like a Triple H impression, and then me just using Stephanie's name, and she just happens to be named Stephanie. She's just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, I'm impersonating Triple H, honey. Sorry.
I like her already.
Yes. She is absolutely the love of my life. She's been on the show before. She's helped me quite a bit on this program, and she hates and detests the industry.
That's fair.
I'm trying, I'm trying to kind of to get her. She likes the backstage stuff of it, like the drama of it, of like Dark Side of the Ring and that type of stuff, but not more or less the actual in-ring action, which, you know, is the more important part of it, which is the driving reason of the industry.
I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea, though. You know,
It's I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to be with someone that liked it as much as me, just because of the fact of what if they really like John Cena, because they'd be like, this isn't gonna work. Like, that doesn't work for me, brother. You know. But it's also interesting now too, where it seems to be more culturally acceptable, like even for female wrestling fans, where before it was like, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, if there was a lot of, I felt like there was a lot more closeted female wrestling fans than there have been, than there were kind of open, at least in my understanding and kind of visual of things, because it seemed to be, there wasn't many, I felt like, that were out. It was definitely a male kind of generated industry. I feel like it still is, but it seems to be more acceptable now, and it definitely should be. In the sense of with women wrestling, even I think overtaking men's wrestling at certain points in the industry, and as far as mainstream is concerned. But also the fact that a female promoter, like, again, when I found out you're a female promoter, I was just like, we got to have her on, because that's a complete, because it's definitely a kind of thing where I think a lot of people are sitting out there and they're just like, why? Like, why would you want to get involved? Number one, because it's a really tough industry. Like, and I'm sure Louis has pretty much told you every horror story possible. And
I have my own horror stories.
Well, I'm sure too, and plus too, some of the interactions that I've seen on your social media, where a lot of the male gender, I feel like we just need to apologize on like a daily basis.
Are you apologizing for the male species right now?
I do, because it's like, I just feel like that, because I am definitely not somebody that you seem to be interacting with on talent end, and then also just on ends of it's like they're either sending you, I feel like it's either 50-50 at this point. They're sending you their highlight reel to get booked, or they're sending you an unsolicited dick pic. It's like, really, gentlemen, why is this like this?
There are workers who know that I'm engaged. I've been very loud and proud about our engagement because I absolutely love this man with my whole heart. But there are still wrestlers that I've reached out to for booking opportunities, and they turn around and try to hit on me. And I'm like, wow, like, all right, now I'm not going to book you. I thought about it before. Now you're definitely not getting booked. But there are some who are disrespectful to a degree. Like, the way that I get talked to, they would never talk to him like that, ever. And it is very hard being a female in the business at all. Like I said, I've also trained, I've also ring announced, I've done ring crew for other places. So I've been around, like, I knew exactly what the business entailed. My dream is to kind of break that stigma on women and have as professional of an environment as we can possibly have. A big dream of mine, and he's all for it, is also to build a strong women's division. And I guess we can tell you guys now, in July, we plan to unveil a second women's championship. It is shared with a promotion in Pennsylvania called USWA, with Harley Langley as the promoter over there. And we will be having a tournament for this championship. Among those names that will be in it are LMK, C-Rex, who is the NWA Women's Dog Pound champion, just to name a couple. And we want women to have pretty much equality on our roster to the men. and be able to have their shine just as much as the men do. So, you know, we're trying to look out for everybody, not just the men. But a great attitude, a great work ethic, those things will get you a lot with us. You know, they get you seen, they get you heard, they get you noticed. And we don't have a problem, you know, talking to other promoter friends and being like, hey, this person's awesome. If they are awesome to us, if they're not, you know, we just don't talk about them at all. So that's how it.
And that's a good way to do things. I mean, and I respect also the fact too that you're willing to work with other promoters too, and not being like, because it's nothing worse than a lot of these promoters that just they want to homestead talent and just be like, no, he can't work anywhere else. It's like, okay, but you're running a show bi-monthly, like
Right.
And nobody's got enough. No indie company, well, except for the like upper end ones, but have the money to really set you in place on a contract.
Right. And it's not really fair because you're holding them back by doing that. And honestly, like supporting other businesses is not going to hurt you. It's going to help you. Working together, we're here to break down those forbidden doors. And we're here to work with others and show everybody that when we work together, things are a lot more beautiful.
I feel like with the rising live event costs, and it's not just WWE, even though $40,000 for ringside seats for SummerSlam.
That's wild. Wild.
That is a reality I never thought we'd be facing in the professional wrestling realm.
No.
And I independent wrestling, I think, is definitely going to be able to capitalize on this because there's a lot of people that are going to get priced out of that market. And I feel like that the independent wrestling scene, because you're going to be able to keep costs at a minimum. And
Yeah.
I think be able for the fan to come, also bring a family of four, and it's a reasonably priced night.
Yeah.
That, like for us personally, we allow children 7 and under in for free because we feel like at 7 and under,
There you go, folks. There you go.
Yep. And we really feel like at 7 and under, they don't really pay enough attention to count as like, you know what I mean? As an active like fan, where they are in and out of it the whole show. But we offer other stuff for kids at our shows, like the princess decorated wands with the children at our last show, Tiffany Avatar. She came to the show, decorated some wands with these kids. We always have like raffles and food. So there's something for everybody. It's not just a whole like big wrestling environment. We have a pizza place out here that we work with. So, you know, we bring some pretty good concessions to our shows. And we just, you know, we want everybody to have a good time. And we also do a lot of charity work. So usually every show we do a charitable cause. September is going to be a little different because we're going to be doing a benefit show for our wedding. That is our way to include all of our wrestling friends and family in our big day. So that is exciting. And, you know, we're just happy to see like the progress that we've been making, and we're happy to see our crowds growing. We're happy to see the community more involved with us. We're happy to establish these relationships with all these businesses and people in the schools. They've been very gracious to us. Can't forget them. This is, it's becoming a really beautiful thing. And I'm really excited to what the future will hold for us, because we might not be spending, you know, $5,000, $10,000 on every card, but we are bringing in some notable names, and we are, you know, we're on the rise. And we couldn't do it without everybody who helps us, just like they couldn't do it without us. It's a team effort over here, and that's how it should be.
I'm hoping at some point you make it out to Massachusetts, like in western or central part of the state. Just because the fact I feel like that you have the ability, and I think with your the way that you promote shows, with making it like a family affair and kind of it making almost like a carnival event, I think is something that is desperately needed into the industry, that I think there's a lot of companies that are now going the brewery route, which I think is a tremendous idea.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of being able to kind of make it like, 7 and under free, and being able to just say, look, bring the kids, bring everybody, there's going to be something available for everybody. Cause you want to be able to get kind of the new generation of younger kids to be able to get into this, because and get them off the goddamn phones and get them off TikTok for a little bit.
Yes.
To just be like, come on.
And I'm going to tell you, when I was a single parent taking care of my kids before me and Louis were together, if I was to bring both my kids to a wrestling show and they're telling me it's $30 per person, and I had to pay $30 for my 6-year-old autistic son who was less than 6 back then, it would have deterred me from going, because that's a lot of money out of my pocket for 3 tickets.
Right.
We're talking $90 now. You know what I mean? So I want to make this affordable for everybody, as affordable as we possibly can. And he's been on board with everything. He's come up with some amazing ideas. He's got a great mind for this business. And he's literally my partner in crime doing this. But we love the fact that we can advertise ourselves as family orientated, because that's exactly what we are.
And that, I think, that is definitely the important thing. Because nowadays in this industry, it seems like that it's just, again, they try to make it out to be almost like there's no family friendliness to it anymore, unless it's WWE. But the problem is, it's like, yeah, we're family friendly, but it's going to cost you $40,000 to sit ringside. Yeah, great, guys. Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, right. So I'll never go there in my lifetime. Not front row, anyway.
I always thought in my life, I'm like, I'll be able to. I hope to one day make it to a WrestleMania. And it's just like, no,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, it's just literally impossible. I'm going to Disney later on this year with Steph, and I'm just like, I can't believe that trip is going to be cheaper than going to WrestleMania this year. Like, how is that? How have we come to that? Because I always felt like wrestling it's a form of Broadway kind of performance, but it's also a form of just like, of course, athletics.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always felt, though, it should be cheaper than both, and an alternative for people, instead of just like not having to go to a theater and sit and the stuffiness with that stupid little binocular thing with the fucking wand thing, and then going to a sporting event and then having some asshole spill beer on you, and then having to yell at a referee and getting the goddamn blown call, and you're leaving the show mad, or leaving the game mad. Or you want to be able to come to a wrestling event, and yeah, the bad guy could win at the end of the night, but still at the end of it, like the good guy prevails at the end of it, and you're sent home happy. And that was me when I was a kid, where my parents couldn't send me to go to a Red Sox or a Patriot game, but they could afford to send me to a wrestling event. And I feel like that for people that want to go to a WWE event, that's becoming impossible. But I feel like that they need to be able to support independent wrestling. They need to be able to support the live event industry as a whole, because you have other partners other than just your company in itself. You have your food vendors, you have the venues, you have the talent itself, that it's just this huge nucleus. And when Cyndi's talking about it being a family, and Louis is talking about it being a family, they're 100% right, because the locker room's a family, the vendors are family, and the venue is a family. And so are the fans as well. And people need to be able to realize that and be able to support the brand itself. You need to be able to support independent wrestling, no matter where you are. There's usually a show like every weekend, like in your known area that you can drive to. And you have the ability now to just Google it and being, it's not like the old days where you got to read the after mags and see the little like sections, and Lewis can attest to this. You had to go and like find like these mailing lists of all these companies and like different addresses, and you're just like, okay, like so I'll send the tape there, or were you doing tape trading here? Like,
Yep. I remember the tape trading days.
oh, those good old days. It's like, all right, I'll trade you this USWA tape from Memphis of 1991 for 3 All Japan tapes. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We can go with that. I remember because I remember when eBay first came out and I'm buying like RF video master tapes of like ECW. Like the early days of eBay, it was like my first eBay account. I'm just like, and I'm on there and I'm like, what's this? Oh, okay. They need a money order. What's a money order? Where do I get a money order? Oh, you got to go to a gas station to get a money order. Okay. And then you're just mailing the thing out. You're hoping it gets to them, and then maybe you'll get your tape.
Yeah.
Oh, those fun days. So Lewis, you were part of the independent wrestling boom in the late 90s, early 2000s in Southern California.
Yes.
After your XPW days, after your Marine days, what made you kind of want to get back into it after your Marine days?
So I never really got out of it.
Okay.
Every time I was stationed somewhere, I would find somewhere to wrestle. It wasn't on the level that, I was used to wrestling, because, with XPW, I was wrestling in arenas. I got to wrestle at Grand Olympic Auditorium and places like that. But
That's
I always
sweet, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. But that, I still stayed on some level somewhat. And it kept me in shape, too, because ring shape's a whole different animal than any other kind of cardio. So
because I worked in the Indies for about 4 years. I worked for a Powerhouse Wrestling in Central Massachusetts for about 4 years. And I was like a ring announcer, and because I never became a worker because I was born legally blind. So it was one of those deals of, I'm like, I can never be a performer on my own, because if I'm working with somebody else, the last thing I want to do is hurt them because I missed something like a half an inch. And that would have drove me crazy, the thought process on that end. And it's always, whenever I talk about like growing up, and I talk with the promoter, because I talked with Sheldon Goldberg previously, I've always been interested in someone's thought process and being a booker, promoter. And I kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit on what you think is kind of what the game plan, I think, for what wrestling is kind of the direction it should go and kind of stay, and to be successful. Because you hear it all the time, where there's that difference of the AEW fan that's just like, they like and I'm not knocking AEW, and I'm not knocking the fan base, more or less. I'm just saying that there's that person that likes the type of car crash formulaic matches, and then there's the type of people that like the drama of it and the cinematic style of it.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that argument there has been forever, because especially with like XPW and ECW, we had the deathmatch stuff, and then you had the more technical stuff. I fortunately would never had to do any of the deathmatch stuff with XPW. I was doing the technical stuff. I was in a tag team, and we were doing the whole tag team tournament thing and all that good stuff. So luckily I didn't have to do all that, all the bleeding and everything else. But I think you have fans that like different styles. And I think if you could add all those different styles and elements into one show and like kind of fit them in somewhere, then you can get a broader range of people.
All right. So no, Lucha Underground was, in my opinion, one of the things that kind of kept modern wrestling kind of changing because, God, there were so many bad years with when Vince was in charge, at least at the head point, where because the indie wrestling scene, I think, started to change like the mid 2010s because I remember for a while it wasn't doing great because everything kind of got burned out by like the ECW reunions. There was such a period of time after ECW and XPW when it was just like every independent show seemed to just book like these ECW, XPW guys, and they just started doing death matches everywhere. And I'm just like, this is unsustainable. But things now seem to be definitely kind of improving in that end. So I have so many questions, and sometimes my mind just goes all over the place. Who are your favorites right now, as far as talent now, do you think that could be real big in the next 5 years that you're currently kind of either training or currently booking?
Oh, that's a loaded question because there's just so many. 5150 is definitely something. As scared as I am of him, because he did come after me at the last show. I think he's a phenomenal talent, or they are a phenomenal talent because they are many, apparently, or so I've been told. I think out of all the characters that I've seen, he's definitely one of my favorites. I like spooky things. I like a lot of talents that are out there right now. Danny Orion, this kid from Texas, we're bringing in for our next show. He's going to be big one day. I have a feeling that kid will be signed. Kylon King, Dustin Waller. We have Richard Holiday coming. Richard Holiday is, that's big stuff to me. These are all people that I look up to, and I really admire what they're doing because they're able to tell that story. They're able to. They have the whole package. They have the athleticism, all their stuff. Their fan interaction is wonderful. They have great attitudes. They have great work ethic, and that's the kind of stuff that's going to get you, noticed. Like I said, promoters talk to each other now. This is not what it used to be. To where, oh, well, F you, we'll keep you out of business, where promoters are tearing down other promoter signs. That's not what this is whatsoever. But there's just so many good talents on the indies that there's this kid that we have coming in, Aaron Norman, who's originally from Connecticut. He was actually training out in Ohio because he moved to Ohio. He has family back here. He messaged us and was like, I would love to get on Outkast. I would love to wrestle in my home state. And we checked out his stuff. He's one of Trey Miguel's kids. And he was amazing. So we're like, yeah, absolutely. Come on down. And, so we got him coming in June 14th to go against Cade Lothbrock. I've always loved Cade. That's another one of my favorites. We're Norse pagan. A lot of people aren't aware of that. So those gimmicks kind of pull at my heartstrings, my roots a little bit.
Louis, who do you think is going to be big in the next 5 years?
So in the next 5 years, definitely look out for Miracle Generation.
Okay.
Kai and Dustin Waller, those guys have come a long way. I was with them from their start, so I've got to see them grow, and man, have they! I expect to see them signed somewhere in the next few years, whether it be AEW, TNA, they're going to be somewhere. The Haven is another good team. Some more of the kids. They're all Paul Roma guys. So they trained over there with Paul Roma. But back then with them, I was doing a lot of I was helping with the training over there too. So I was able to get my hands on them a little bit, which was fun.
And how about our I-91 champion, Jeremy Lacroix?
Oh, yeah.
He is one of the best heels on the scene right now. I will say that with confidence, with my chest out, I love Jeremy.
Very good technical wrestler. He's got a wrestling background from high school and everything else. And I mean, his technical skills are on point. And he's another one that's going to be really good.
When you mentioned Paul Roma, I immediately just was like, one of the few people that actually scare me. As far as like one of my favorite shoot interview subjects, but then at the same time I'm like, yeah, like because he just has that intimidating presence, which is like, oh God, he's gonna tear my head off. Oh no!
I'm gonna make him a friendship bracelet and see how he takes it.
I think everybody should just give him a big hug the second they meet him.
Oh God.
He'd hate it.
I hope your listeners now go to his shows and just give him a hug.
How is he one-on-one? Because I just feel like from that one interview he did with RF,
he's not that bad.
Okay.
He's not.
You gotta know him.
He's a ball buster. He busts balls.
Yeah.
We all do. So it's not anything foreign to us.
Once you get to know Paul, he's not a bad guy at all. He's
a good man. He's a good human being.
I love that Shawn Michaels story where he was just like, Sean's his kid's crying, and Sean is just like, yeah, just tell him that you let me beat him. And it's just like Sean's like, no, I'm not going to tell him that. Paul's like, all right, well, the next time I work with you, I'm going to make you pay. And Sean's just like, yeah, I let your dad beat me. Stories like that I'm just like, okay, that's perfect. But again, I'm scared because I just any interaction with him, I'd be like, like he's gonna kill me.
He's a tough guy too. He's still in like fabulous shape. Like
he seems like somebody that would be like somebody that would still just like keep himself in shape, because I know he was in the gym business quite a bit, other than the wrestling side of things.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything really negative to say about him as a horseman. It's like he kind of got miscast. Like, so I'd be like, I'm not going to say you're the worst horseman, because I'm not going to do it.
Please don't kill me.
Don't kill me. You should have beat Alex Wright. Should have lost you. It's fine. Don't beat me. No.
It's like in what was it, Dogma? When no, it wasn't Dogma, but it was Jay and Silent Bob when they went to everybody's house and that they gave him bad reviews and started beating them up.
That's literally Paul Roma. It's like, oh God. Like if he just showed up to my house and be like,
Are you Cena fan 4153?
He got so mad. Oh God, he got so mad when Triple H made fun of one of the DVDs. He was just like, "What, really? What did he say? Oh, okay." And then he just came out. He just tore into him, and I was just like, "Oh, he's just somebody. He just yeah." And when I found out that he was doing like he was training and then running shows in Connecticut, I was just like, because there's always that thought process of me. I'm just like, I could, like I'll ring it out, see if I could go help out one of these other, like, see if I could go work for one of these companies. And then when I heard Paul Roma was in business, I'm like, I'm not going to call him. Like, I feel like
I will. I'll call him. I'll call the shit out of him.
Is he on a first? Okay, is he on a first name basis with you, where he's just like, okay, yeah, like,
yeah, me, yeah,
okay, that's good, yeah. Because
I'm gonna make him a friendship bracelet. It's gonna be. I'm gonna see how he.
What do you want me to do with this?
I'm gonna tell him he better wear it, or I'll be very, very sad at him, and I'll write him a letter telling him how sad I am.
Put like put like a horse's head on there, and then just see if like he's just like.
Yeah. That's a great idea, actually.
Because like he can't say that for like the rest of his life. It's like I was a member of the Horsemen, like no matter what. Like I technically think he's more of a full-fledged member than like Jeff Jarrett is. Because Jeff Jarrett's still like, if everybody's like, oh, he was technically a horseman. I'm like, hey, he was an associate. He never really got affiliated technically.
Yeah.
He was like a fill-in, but he wasn't like. I mean, Paul won a title with Arn for Christ's sake. So
Yeah.
and I did like also Pretty Wonderful when he teamed up with Paul Orndorff for WCW. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably aging myself because everybody's just like, wait, what? He's talking about a 1994 tag team?
I mean, I was watching back then. I was 5 years old, but I was watching.
I was in high school.
Shut up. Well, he's 43. I'm 36.
I'm 44 now.
44. Yeah. So he just turned 44 in April.
Yeah, I turned 42 at the end of the month, so.
Okay.
See, so
Right
we're
there
all
with you.
around this.
We're all around the same age.
Within 10 years of each other, you know?
Yeah.
My body feels like 72 though.
Same. Same.
Why do you like? Why do you still do it like on a consistent basis? Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, I'm just gonna keep going till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, we have like classes that come through 2 or 3 times a week where he's out there training with them. Then he's, working shows and taking bookings, and I manage him as well. I manage him at in Maine and in Rhode Island and a few other places. And so we have traveled, and how he's still running, I don't know, but
I've toned it down because I used to do flippy stuff, and now not as much.
now he does some flippy stuff.
I do some flippy stuff.
Yeah, like a whisper in the wind that nobody saw. No, in WWE, he does his whisper in the wind from the top rope, and Ryan Frost, he
did the Samoa Joe where he just went and he just walked away.
And it glitched, so a wrestler comes in the back, and he has this knot on his head that is the size of a softball. This dude it's crazy looking. So everybody looks over as he's doing the whisper in the wind, right?
So nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it. But then the footage comes out. Not even the camera saw it because it glitched. He went up to the top, it glitched, and then he's on the ground. And we're like, oh no, not even the camera got it. So
I'm like, see guys, I still do cool stuff every now and then, but there's no proof of it.
Yeah.
That's got to be the thing where you're just like, I need to be able to I need to highlight real stuff, and then you did this great thing in training when no one else is there, and you're just like, God, but I just did that. I did it perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I keep telling her that I'm gonna work on a 450. So she got mad at me not too long ago because my back I was feeling better, but I still wasn't right up there.
Right.
I hadn't been taking any bumps yet. And we had B-Boy in doing a seminar, and B-Boy's my original trainer. And he was in, and he was doing some stuff. And so he looks at me and he's showing the student stuff, and he goes, take the Snapmare. And he just says Snapmare, and I just, boom, it's muscle memory, especially with him.
Right.
And I do it. She gives me the worst look because I haven't been bumping it all yet.
And then, so we went to go lock up because I still roll around sometimes. And we went to go lock up, and I shoved him so hard. He was like, okay, Miss Stiff Ass. And I was like, yeah, that was your receipt. And you know why. You know why.
You just sit there. What the as a manager, what he's doing is you probably don't go over spots when she's around, right?
Sometimes.
No, I'm standing right there.
Yeah, she usually stands right there.
But honestly, it's just you might call something in the ring. You might be like BME or something like that.
She gives me looks. I get them.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
I'm busy outside of the ring costing him matches. One match he had with Jermaine Marbury, and everybody loves Benny the basketball. He's a national treasure. I'm outside with Benny, and I'm taking pictures with him, and he just stops his whole match, and he's like, what are you doing? And then he lost because he got distracted with me. I was like, worry about what's going on in the ring, sir. He's a national treasure, okay? And then even the crowd was on my side. They're like, yeah, he's a treasure. This is fine.
He's a mascot.
He's a treasure. I love Benny.
So how many young children do you have like in the household nowadays?
Just two.
Just two.
And then a bunch of animals.
I know
They're
you got a
not
new
children.
kitten recently as well.
Yeah, she's against his leg right now. She was on me earlier.
She's the reason I keep looking down because she keeps
Messing with his leg.
I noticed the zoo on some occasion. I wouldn't call it a zoo, but I've noticed that like there's quite a few animals there, which I'm very envious of. Just because
we have go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I was going to say we have 3 dogs. So we have 2 German Shepherds and a Siberian Husky. And we have 5 cats. We did have chickens, but they died. And we had ducks and they died. And we had ferrets and they died. So
that sounds terrible.
it does. They were all, well, the ferrets, they were old. The ducks, I don't know what happened. And the chickens, well, I mean, they got picked off out here.
We have hawks and things like that, and
it happens.
So the hawks and the raccoons picked them off and took them away.
Yeah, we live. There's a nature preserve right behind our house, so there's a lot of things out there. Yeah.
Well, you do have also like 3 giant dogs who you think maybe would have been like, "Hey, there's something going on."
Oh yeah.
Our dogs are worthless as far as guard dogs.
Giant ass babies.
They'll bark at everything, including us coming in, but then they just bark because they want to be pet.
Yeah. They would lick an intruder to death. Like I don't. These dogs are sad. And one of our shepherds, the one behind me right now, her name's Butterbean, and she is like well over 100 pounds and a big dog, and she just does not care. She just loves everybody. I'm just like, why?
She sits.
Like, hi.
But she'll sit on your lap. Like, she thinks she's a lap dog, so she'll get up and try to sit on your lap.
I'd be fine with that. I'd be 100% fine with that.
She's trying to right now. As a matter of fact, look at
Oh!
this. She heard my name.
Oh, yes.
But she knows how to be light in certain places. I think she's learning off of him. She's been in the ring too.
She's been in the ring. I've had her in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
She loves rolling around. It's fun.
Yeah, she's just in the wrestling ring and she's just like,
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like natural.
Yeah.
The perfect dog breeds, because I definitely want, well, I've had a German Shepherd with in the past when I was probably like 15 years ago. And then, but the Siberian Husky is another one that I've just been like always in love with. Even though the howling at like 7 o'clock in the morning would probably drive me crazy.
Super high energy.
He's an a-hole. He argues with me over everything. The other day, he was like moaning and groaning on the couch, and I was like, Nanook, what bills are you paying to be moaning and groaning like that? And he's like, I was like, you do not pay the electricity. That is a lie, sir.
You don't.
And he just goes back and forth with me all day.
And he's got an attitude. Like, if he's mad at you, he'll point it out. He'll go upstairs and take a dump right in front of our bed. Like when he's mad at us.
Yeah. Just be an a-hole. He's such an a-hole.
Why? Just why?
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why are we still doing this? Why?
Yeah, and the shepherds, it's funny because the big one, she failed out of obedience school, but she listens really, really well. The other one, Ula, she's a certified service dog, and she don't listen worth a shit.
But she's a service dog.
Yeah. Well, she gets into she'll get into work mode. When she's in work mode, it's like different than home mode.
Yeah.
Right. But you'd think that they'd be a little bit more attentive, a little bit more like listen a little bit instead of just like.
You would think.
You would think. But
it's like when she gets home, she's like, "Yeah, I'm off the clock."
Yep.
Nope.
Comes through that door and is like
5 o'clock somewhere. Throws herself on the couch. You're like, you're a dog. You don't have a job. Oh, I do. Well, I don't want to keep it too much because it is a Friday night. But I wanted to let you get your plugs out there for when your next show is. I think it's coming up in June, correct?
Yep, June 14th. It's called Flowers Given. It will be at Ledyard Middle School. VIPs get in at 5:30. Doors open at 6. Show starts 6:30 bell time, and it's going to be fantastic. We got Richard Holiday versus Mickey Midas, who is a talent who's been on AEW as well, and that's going to be a great match. We got Kylon King versus Danny O'Ryan. We've got Aaron Norman, Cade Lothbrock, Sammy Chaos, Jada Carr.
5150 versus Dante Farmito.
Yep, and Johan Nara will be present. We don't have an opponent for him yet, but we'll see who walks through that curtain.
Awesome. I can't wait for you guys in that show. I can't wait for the impending nuptials as well. I'll have to have you guys on before the September show, the benefit show for you guys' wedding, which I also think is a great idea.
Thank
Especially
you.
with two wrestling fans kind of getting together and being able to do that, I think is fantastic.
It's first to include everybody, and that's we want to be inclusive. You know,
And we got to give a shout out to our entire roster, because our roster stepped up and was like, yeah, we got this one pro bono.
we told them it was a volunteer basis, and they all were like, yes.
Yeah, they all jumped up to help us. So
Yeah.
we really, really appreciate our entire roster.
All of them.
Well, it seems like you guys, and from doing this, you guys are really decent, good people. So I hope nothing but the best for you. So nothing but the best for the company as well. And we'll have you guys on again. You guys are great. And,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And again, I think you guys are going to do great. That is Outkast Wrestling Revolution. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and other social media apps as well. Thank you guys for coming on tonight. It has been a pleasure. We'll have you on again real soon.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Good night, guys.
Take care.
Take care.